Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to show you some of my Sandtrooper squad, which includes the Dewback creatures. The cool thing about the Power of the Force action figure line is in addition to figures and vehicles, they also did some creatures. And one of the first ones I actually picked up was the Dewback that came with a Sandtrooper. And I can show you what the box actually looks like because I did save that. It should be noted that the depiction of the Sandtrooper that you see here is not exactly like the figure that you got in this package. As you can see, there's a window here where the Sandtrooper existed. And the weathering on the original figure that came with this was very orange. So one of the first things that I actually did when I got this Sandtrooper was actually to strip off that orange weathering and actually fix it so it looked more like the other Sandtroopers that I had in my collection. On the back of the package, you can see some of the other figures that were offered in this line, some of the vehicles and so forth. And they also mentioned that this creature has some features where the head raises and jaw chomps when the tail is moved, and I'll demonstrate that for you later on. They also show you a depiction of the Dewback and the Sandtrooper sitting on it. So cool looking packaging. Again, this was a little bit later in the line where they started doing the green glow on the packaging. But this was one of the first ones that I actually picked up of the creatures. So I was very excited to get this. And as you can see, I actually have, a decent amount of, Sandtroopers, and also I have two versions of the Dewback. The second one I actually picked up from a discount store. It didn't actually have the Sandtrooper in the packaging, so like it was at an extreme discount. I think I might have paid like $2 for it or something like that. So that was actually a really cool deal. It came with all the accessories. It didn't have the figure, but the Dewback was there, and also the lance and the backpack and all that kind of stuff. So that was a cool deal. So I was able to get two of these, and I actually customized one of my Sandtroopers so he could actually sit on there. And I'll explain how I did that a little bit later. But let's take a look at the actual creature. So you can see here, in terms of the detailing and everything, they did a pretty good job on this. So this is the way the Dewback actually appears in the special edition of Star Wars. The original Kenner Dewback had different kinds of legs and didn't actually look exactly like this. But they updated it to match up with the sort of CGI version of the Dewback. And I'll demonstrate for you the action that occurs when you move the tail back and forth. You can see the head moves and the jaw actually articulates as well. So a lot of these included sort of these gimmicks. I know the Jabba the Hutt version that they did also had a gimmick which I ended up disabling just because I thought it was really kind of silly. It kind of limited the articulation on Jabba the Hutt. So I'll save that discussion for a whole other video, but you can actually articulate the mouth individually as well and move the head around. So there is some articulation there. And also the legs actually move too. So you can actually articulate this and move the legs around and sort of repose it in a couple different ways. So it's not bad in terms of the articulation, so I can't really complain too much. So in terms of the figure itself that actually comes with this, this version of the Sandtrooper has articulated knees. So that's kind of a cool feature. And again, the original weathering on this looked really terrible. It was very orange, so I ended up, taking rubbing alcohol and sort of removing that, and then redoing the weathering so it matched up with the way it looks on the packaging, and also consistent with the other Sandtroopers that I have in my collection. So again, this isn't a straight up review of this figure because I did make some modifications to it. But he does come with the removable backpack, the lance, and so it does have some cool features. As you can see, this sort of just pops into a clip in his back, so you can see what that looks like. So cool looking figure. He looks a little awkward when he's just standing on his own because of the wide stance, but it's serviceable as a figure on itself as well. So in terms of the rest of my Sandtrooper squad, as I mentioned, I actually modified one of the original Sandtroopers to actually fit on this Dewback. So how I did that is I just took the figure and dipped it in boiling water. These limbs on these are very pliable, so when they're heated up, you can actually change the configuration of them. So once in the boiling water, it allowed the plastic to soften enough so I could actually widen the stance of the figure so it could fit on the Dewback. So that's pretty much all I did in terms of modifying that particular figure so it would fit on the Dewback. So that allowed me to have another Sandtrooper on the Dewback. And as I mentioned, the one that I bought didn't come with a figure, but it had all the accessories, so I was able to add that to this figure and actually complete that. In terms of my other Sandtroopers, many of these I've actually custom made. This is actually just a standard Stormtrooper that I actually modified and added on the shoulder pauldron. Actually, in some cases, I actually created my own shoulder pauldrons. Tried to match them up as close to the original as possible, and I think I just used some like hobby clay that you can buy like at craft stores to actually make those. And it really wasn't that difficult, so I was able to create some custom versions of Sandtroopers. So you can see this one is basically just a standard Stormtrooper that I've actually done the weathering on and added on the shoulder pauldron. This one, I think, at least one of these came with the Cantina playset. I know this backpack that comes with the sort of surveillance droid that basically came with that set. I'm not sure if this is the exact figure that came with that, but this backpack is featured in such a way that you get that little droid hanging off the side of it. So that's pretty cool. And again, I love the weathering on these Sandtroopers. I think they did a really good job just in terms of making them look like they've been out in the desert for a while. Once again, we got another Sandtrooper, and this one has the sort of gray shoulder pauldron. I think this is one of the custom ones that I actually made. So, and it does more or less match up with the originals, just in terms of the overall look of it. So, again, I just like having a bunch of these troopers to actually, be part of the squad that sort of is searching for the droids and doing their surveillance on Tatooine. So once again, here's another one. I think this might be the one that actually came with the Cantina playset, but I'm not sure. Again, it's been a while since I purchased these. So, and I did do a fair amount of customizing to them, adding additional weathering and so forth. So it's hard for me to remember which one came with which set. But anyway, I do have a bunch of these, and I very much like having a good squad of Sandtroopers. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more installments of the series, Power of the Force Memories, you should think about subscribing to my channel because I will be doing a lot more of these episodes in the future. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and may the Force be with you. Thanks for watching.